friends, and welcome to the Alps. This is gonna be a special episode as I'm currently on vacation in Italy. This year has been super busy and I really needed to take some time off work to recharge my mind and creativity. I also wanted to have a chat with you about burnouts and the struggles and challenges that we face as designers. Burnouts can happen to anybody, it's happened to me as well. It's common in our industry and it's simply another another part of the challenge that we face as designers. I really hope that after watching this video you will have a better understanding of burnout and how you can overcome it. Let's start talking about the things that I do at work and outside of work, shall we? So currently I'm working at a tech company called Crunch and I've got one of these 9 to 5 jobs. In addition to my full-time, I also freelance on the side, working with small businesses and startups on web design projects. Before I started to work at Crunch, I was freelancing full-time. That's why I've got a constant flux of work coming in. When I started my new job, I had a few freelance projects that got delayed, so I was working nights and weekends, crazy amounts of hours in order to keep up with my work. Until I burned out. The day I burned out, I had to stop everything I was doing, be honest with my clients and accept the fact that I couldn't compromise my health to keep up with work. Anyway, a year later, I still freelance on the side because I love being my own boss, being in control of my work, and I never had another burnout. In my case, I found balance by taking only high profitable and long-term projects, no more than 2 projects a month, and obviously I stopped working at night time. This year I've also started to make content on YouTube and Instagram and start growing an audience, which is something new to me and different from having clients. At the moment this side project is not profitable, but I do enjoy the process of making content that you can find helpful for whatever you're doing. So these are the main 2 things that I do outside of work that are pretty different from my full-time job. My goal with my side hustles is not to take on more work or make more videos, but it's to optimize my workflow and speed up my process. So I would like to know if you have any tips on how to automate your workflow, or if you know any app or website that can help. I'd be grateful for it. Anyway, I'm not a workaholic. I also have a partner, friends, hobbies, activities and vacations, and my career is not my only focus. I should be happy that I've got all these things because I don't want to turn into somebody who just cares about work, work and work. But why do we keep starting new projects even when we know it's more work than what we can handle, or even after we burn out repetitively? The problem is that when we come across designers with a flourishing career, profitable side projects, and because we can't explain how they can do all these things, how they can be so successful, we start thinking that we are not good enough and we need to do more and more. That's why we start burning out. But we're missing the point. We're not looking beyond the Twitter, Instagram or YouTube bubble. We need to stop comparing ourselves with others because their goals are different from ours. What matters to them doesn't necessarily matter to us. Instead, we should be looking through the negative space where the challenges, the struggles and again the burnouts are. What are they prioritizing in their life? Is it work? Is it family? What are they compromising? Is it their health, their social life? We all have the same amount of hours in a day. We've got friends, families, hobbies, so we need to decide what to prioritize and what to compromise every day. Now let's talk a bit more about these 2 things. So if we want to have a healthy work-life balance, we need to understand that there are things that are more important than others. For example, for me, it's more important to be healthy and active than making 1,000 followers a day on YouTube. or my full time is more important than what I do on the side. To help me prioritize my life, every day in the morning I write down a list of things I want to achieve from my personal life as well as work. I think it's important to consider both aspects, because if I was considering only work, I wouldn't have a social life or time away from the screen. If you're struggling with prioritizing your work or making time for your projects, I highly recommend a book called Make Time by John Zeraski and Jake Knapp, the same author of Sprint Book. This is the best book I've ever read about time management. It's fun, easy to read, and it gives clear advice to anybody and not just managers, CEOs or whatever. The second word that is super important to keep in mind is compromises. I'll give you an example. So this afternoon I've decided to record this video instead of reading a book, because for me sharing these thoughts with you is more important. So basically every time we select one thing to do, we are excluding hundreds of other things that are still rewarding and important to us. The challenge is to understand what we're willing to compromise in order to achieve our goals. For example, I wake up at 6 a.m. every morning to exercise and work on my side hustles. That's because to me it's more important to do these things than watching Netflix until late in the afternoon. But I'm willing to compromise my afternoon. I actually go to bed at 10 a.m. so that I can wake up early in the morning. I could also grow this channel more rapidly or take on more freelance work, but I'm not willing to spend the whole day in front of the screen. If you're interested in this topic, then check out a book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. This is one of the most inspiring books I've ever read. This book says that before you start doing something you're passionate about, you should be asking yourself, what's your favorite flavor of shit sandwich? That's because sometimes things suck, and you have to decide what sort of suckage we're willing to deal with. So the question is not what are you passionate about, but what are you passionate enough about that you can endure the most awful aspects of the work. So if you want something enough, you don't mind eating the shit sandwich that comes with it. It took me a while to understand these things, but hopefully once you start prioritizing your life, accept compromises as part of the game and stop comparing yourself with others, hopefully you will have a better work-life balance and stop having burnouts. And that's it from today. I really hope this video was helpful. Please let me know in the comments if you had any experiences with burnout or what sort of strategies do you use to avoid it from happening again. Alright, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!